All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're ready to go forward with Super Metroid 100% on the SNES with Nintoaster. Nintoaster, how's it going today? How are you feeling about your run?
Pretty good, pretty good. See if we can pull out of my pull out of my hat here today. Could I actually get some game audio in my headset here?
Yep, we're gonna raise it for you.
Sweet. We plugged in? Yeah, we're good. Okay. Oh, I hear things. That's good. Okay, we're good.
Loud enough for you? All good?
Yep.
Perfect. All right. So ready to go on your mark.
Alrighty, count down from 5. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, let's go.
Let's do it.
By the way, quick reminder, we do have a Save or Kill the Animals incentive right now, and it's ahead by $45 last time I checked. Let me just confirm real quick. And it is, so if you want to save the frames, now's the time to do it. You've got about, I'd say, an hour, 15 minutes, give or take. Maybe an hour 20.
Thereabouts, yeah.
Yeah.
Please think about the frames. All right, so 100% item. This category is probably, I would say, probably the longest category of the core category set. Just under, well, for me, it's probably just under a minute, hour and a half or so.
It's my favorite category. I'll be taking Elminster Place until he arrives.
Okay. Yeah, I hope you guys are ready for about 11 minutes of item fanfare, because that's a thing in this category.
Oh yeah.
So not too much to see here, just obviously escape the ship as fast as you can.
Yeah, since it's 100% and there's 100 items, a fanfare is about 8 seconds, so we'll have 800 seconds of item fanfares.
It's a good chunk of time in the run. All right.
Optimal camera pair placement.
Yeah.
How you doing, man? Pretty
Good,
comfy
good.
back here. This is a good couch.
It is.
Oh, you're back there.
It's a good couch. It's comfy.
It looks comfy.
Yeah, it is.
I'm gonna have to join you soon.
You can run the couch.
Yep.
So there's a couple different variations in this route. The one I'm doing is the more quote-unquote conventional route. So we're doing early Crocomire, picking up Ice Beam later on in the run. So there is a different route that's run by better players than me that goes to Crocomire last and gets early Ice Beam. But it gives you, to do that, you have to do a really tricky ice clip in Meridia. So I won't be attempting that today.
Well, you know what I'm looking most forward to? The Spore Spawn fight.
Oh, yeah. The what fight?
Spore Spawn, man. Who?
Yeah, what?
The green dude that goes like this, you know, like in an 8 shape.
I don't know. Rumors.
Uh-oh. We're saving the Spore Spawn.
Saving it from extinction. So that little quick fall there you saw was actually, it's relatively new tech. It's called Moonfall, and it works by using the moonwalk. You just jump in the opposite direction at a certain frame, and it lets you, it basically removes the fall speed cap, so you can fall at a much higher speed than usual. So we'll be using that periodically through this run, because there's a few different spots to use it.
Runners have been wanting to use the moonwalk for years.
Yeah, I know. It was a dormant thing for so long, and now finally they found a use for it. So it actually comes in handy in boss fights too, which is kind of cool. So after the first couple items in the game here, not too much to see really. You have to grab this missile pack to activate the planet, otherwise it just stays dormant. So the morph ball and first missile tank, and then we can continue on here.
By the way, just a quick reminder, we do have Saber Kill the Animals, as I said a little bit earlier, but we also have a hard or expert difficulty milestone that we can reach. Right now, I think we've reached the hard difficulty milestone for the Link to the Past inverted randomizer. If we make it to $300 before the beginning of the next run, then Elminster will be playing a Link to the Past inverted randomizer on expert difficulty. So get your donations in. You've got about, well, pretty much an hour, 25 minutes.
Ish,
Give or take.
All right, so coming up on the climb here, there's a couple different ways to do this. I do the ledge grab method, but a lot of people use just the wall jump method. Oop, don't do that. Wow.
If you're wondering what the hard and expert difficulty are, the hard difficulty will prevent Elminster going up to, well, more than 6 hearts, and expert is 3. So it's a really hard, how do you say that, constraint.
Okay, first mini boss of the game. This fight's pretty basic. It's nothing too special. You just ideally want to kill him in 2 rounds.
Interesting fact. I'm pretty sure in the PAL version you can actually get out of that door before the boss triggers.
You can. It's very difficult. I don't know if I want to say it's frame perfect, but it's, yeah, it can be done. All right, so ideally you want to leave this room with full ammo and health. It's usually not an issue. It gives you good drops mostly. It's not so much what drops you get, it's where they're positioned when they show up. So. Yep, easy every time. There we go.
Oh yeah. The Alcatraz escape.
Yep. This room is pretty basic. You just literally got to hold shot and angle down. And it just, oh, never mind, I lied. When you mess it up, it doesn't work, but usually it just kills everything in the room.
Wah, 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 wah,
Yeah, that's
wah.
one. Get used to that sound. So quickest way through these hard dudes just to run right through them. You can kill them if you want, but it just takes longer, so not really much of a point. Alright, so heading down to Green Brinstar. So this is where the first major sequence break in the game happens. So we're going to grab a super missile pack here earlier than you're supposed to. Because typically you go fight that unnamed boss to get your first super missile pack.
Oh, yeah.
So you do it by doing a mock ball into this room. Sneak under the gates here.
Oh, yeah.
So if you position yourself just so, like on the, you can see here, you get a nice little deboost off this waiver.
Amazing.
Grab a couple more items in this room. A reserve tank and 2 missile packs.
Yep.
The first of 4 reserve tanks. They're not really useful in the run or any run except RBO, to be honest. They're just got to get them.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's a tricky mock ball. That's probably one of the tighter mock balls in the game, to be honest. As is the jump out of here, so. Yeah. All right, so moving on. This run actually has quite a bit of backtracking, so I'm going to come into Pink Brinstar here. And you're going to see me skip a bunch of stuff just because it's quicker to get it on the way back. But we're going to grab Charge Beam because that's a super important item. So that missile package ran by. We're going to get that probably halfway through the run. We'll come back and grab that later.
By the way, Canadian Owl is saying, Toaster, you missed a missile. Kappa.
Thanks, Owl. Got me back. Yep. So item selection is kind of a big deal in this route because you get, well, this run in general, just because it's, you got to remember what's selected. You got to deselect quickly. You got to reselect. It's a lot of item selection that you don't really think about until you run this category. So it's not that you really have to worry too much. Like, you have so much ammo and energy in this category. You're not going to run out typically.
Where'd you get it?
I don't know. One of the vendors around here, I think.
Oh, shit, nice. Ladies and gentlemen, Elminster is in the house.
Hey, there he is.
Yo, what's up? So how are we doing right now?
We're doing good, man. But so far, you're playing on the hard difficulty. We're halfway through expert.
Oh, man.
So if you guys want to make his life, you know, a little bit more complicated during his run, or at least try to, because I doubt it's going to make a difference, keep donating. Make it to 300 is going to play on expert.
Okay, so coming up on Crate here, first major boss in the game. Yep. It's all good.
And now for the Crate quick kill. Let's do it.
It's pretty precise where you stand on there, so you really got to watch. It's not like pixel perfect, but it's pretty close. Here he goes.
Very well executed. Good job.
Thank you.
Yeah, there's a second phase to that boss, but we don't have time for that.
Yeah, Craig really needs to stretch his legs once in a while. He doesn't get a chance to get up that often, but typically in marathons he does, but we got lucky this time. Cool, so we got Varia. We're going to head down to Norfair and grab some items down there. We're going to take care of Crocomire, get some grapple beam.
Getting comfy back here.
You guys still awake?
We're getting comfy back here.
So this tank you don't typically grab unless you're...
You've got the whole punk crew on your couch.
Look at this, eh? All right, so one good thing about Norfair is we get Speed Booster, which really speeds up things in this run. So we'll be grabbing that shortly after we get high jump boots and a few missile packs here and there. Think about this game, like items are scattered everywhere, like spots you wouldn't think to look, so it's...
Can I interrupt you for a second?
Absolutely.
We have a donation
from Bass Beast that gave $50.
Oh.
Fry them up, save them frames.
Yeah.
Oh,
So I'm
damn.
guessing it's for killing the animals. Oh yeah, we're now only $5 difference from save and kill.
Nice. Keep coming.
Keep
So
giving.
Kill's ahead by $5. Won't take much to put save back ahead.
Can't let that happen.
How do you feel? You want save or kill?
I'm for kill. Oddly enough, you'll get to see some of the animals in this run. We're going to blaze past them, though, so it's just going to be like a hi-bye kind of thing. Thanks for showing up. See you later.
I can barely hear him. I'm afraid to talk over him.
A little precarious missile pack down here. It's well hidden.
Yeah, that'll be good.
So this is actually the first category I started speedrunning when I picked up this game. It's been my favorite game for a long time since it first came out, way back in '94, I guess. So I like it because you get to see a lot of the game. You get to see all the items, what they do, and it's just a fun run in general. Yep. Good old Bubble Mountain. There we go. This area in general is really difficult to navigate. It's very easy to get caught off guard because all the different ledges and stuff, they're really placed oddly, so it's not an easy area to navigate. The precarious missile spot.
The oh so elusive missile tank.
Yes.
The one that everyone missed as a kid.
Definitely.
That one.
All right, fastest item in the game. Now we can actually go fast, hopefully.
I think Elminster wants to play. You guys down for a 2-player 1 controller?
2-player, 1 phone.
Oh, God. So there's like a one mind hack for Link to the Past. And every few seconds, I can't handle interrupting myself. Sorry about that. Every few seconds, the hack switches control between controller 1 and controller 2. So 2 people try and do the run, do the inputs at the same time, because it switches between the players randomly.
That's nuts.
So it's like a weird coordinated effort kind of thing. And it'd be cool to have that hack for Super Metroid as well. Wink, wink.
That is some Pacific Rim shit right there. That is, you need to be drift compatible. Like, seriously.
Pretty much. There's some speedrunners, I don't think I want to be in their heads. Especially in this game, there's a lot of rage that happens. All right, so we're heading down to Crocomire. So this fight is pretty basic. You don't actually kill him yourself, you just kind of push him to the ledge. And then he dies a horrible, painful, torturous death. As you'll see shortly here. There's a little bit of randomness in how he behaves.
I think we have your cousin cheering on you.
Oh,
We have a
Frando.
donation from Frendo
Frando
Calrissian, gives $10 and says, "You got this, cuz, even though I'm easily faster."
Thanks, Franny. So just when you thought Croc was dead, you got a round 2. Except that he's actually dead, so not a big deal. So you're probably wondering how the heck that door is open. If you paid attention, you saw me do a angle up shot over by the E-tank over there. So that's actually a screen wrap, which somehow magically opens the door on the far left, so it lets you spark through that door quickly. Oops. And random power bombs. Don't do that. Okay, so a grapple beam. This beam doesn't have a whole lot of use outside of a few spots. Actually, one right outside this door. It just doesn't really, I mean, it doesn't speed things up in any kind of way significant, so, except for this. Unless you fall like that. And then it doesn't speed anything up. Oops. Oh, please. Wow, okay. We'll get this, I promise. Yeah, it's typically, it's pretty big time loss if you miss that. If you're doing an actual run, like, well, I mean, this is an actual run, but if you're speedrunning and trying to get a good time, falling probably wastes about, I don't want to say like 20 seconds or so you don't want to do that.
I see here that save is ahead by $5 now.
It's only $5 to make that happen. So you can wall jump up here. It's obviously quicker to spark, but it uses a bit more health. But wall jump or spark. I mean, typically you kind of make the decision based on your health. And I'm actually going to farm to full health here only because we're heading into wreck ship right now. It's the most dangerous part of the run, relatively speaking. It's not dangerous relative to other categories, but it is Super Metroid and it is a marathon, so we'd really rather not die. There is one room in particular that's actually pretty dangerous, which you'll be seeing in the not too distant future here.
The problem is that when I talk into the mic, I hear it.
It's a tricky shot. So if you time it right, you can shoot that gate, and the gate opens right away. But it's probably, I don't know, it's 4 pixel width to get the proper height on that shot. So. All right, so leaving Norfair for now. We'll be back later. But now we're going to head back up Red Tower and grab some power bombs and then head off to wreck ship. And hopefully we don't get wrecked by wreck ship. New old Alpha Spark. Like this game, I mean, it's not probably apparent just watching, but there's a lot of tech that goes on behind the scenes, a lot of movement stuff, strategies and all that. So it's, in terms of speedrunning, it's probably one of the most technical. I missed it. If you can do a ledge grab up there. It's pretty tight though, so. All right, so interestingly enough, right where you're supposed to normally grab the first powerbomb pack, there's a door or wall behind it that's powerbomb blocks, and there's a hidden missile tank here, so spoiler alert, but stuff is hidden everywhere in this route. It's crazy. Okay, so a couple more things to grab here, then we can move on. Okay, so I am going to do a safety save. I wasn't sure if I was going to or not, but just for this part of the run, this is, like I said, this is the most dangerous part of the run in this particular area we're going into. So just to be safe, really not like to have to start over. So coming into Criteria again, there was an old strat we used to do called Ocean Fly, and it was pretty swaggy. Unfortunately, it was discovered that just using grapple is actually quicker than doing all the setup for Ocean Fly, so that strat kind of died. But it is a pretty sweet strat, which we will not be seeing today, unfortunately. Wow. I think it goes without saying you don't want to fall in the water. Okay, so on the right ship. So I'm going to turn off Spazer for this part because we're going to be using a strat called X Factor on Fantoon, so we need the special beam attack, wave beam. But before we do that, let's grab this little mistake here. So it's easier grabbing this now just because the ship is not turned on yet, so if it was on, all these platforms would be falling, it would just be a mess. So we're going to grab this first and then head down to Mr. Fantoon, who is the most random boss in the game and typically ends up being the gatekeeper in a lot of runs just because of the way he behaves and how quickly things can go south.
There's a what?
All right, see what he gives us.
Yeah, if you could give me a sub, that would be great. Okay, fine, you don't. No, I'm kidding.
It's going to be a slow pattern for the first round. Not a big deal.
Nice.
I think all the park will say. Oops. Oh, I screwed that up. So you saw me switch to a missile strat there. If you miss with an X Factor particle, it stays on the screen for a long time and it really slows things down. So we don't want that to happen. All right, there he goes. So that's a 3-round, not too bad. I mean, you typically want a 2-round fight out of him. It's the fastest you can get. Okay, we got lots of health, that's good. So we're going to grab a couple more super missile packs here, which is kind of nice. It's the only good thing to come out of Wreck Ship, to be honest. This is probably my worst segment of the run. So it's very tricky. Those work robots are pretty annoying. So they just kind of stand in the way, slow you down, but they actually do shoot projectiles, but you rarely see it. They usually do it when they're off screen.
Same.
All right, one more super missile pack, and then we're going to head to the most dangerous room in this run. But I've got 3 tanks plus a reserve, so I think we're pretty good. If I die with that much health, then Elm, you're going to have to take over, because that's just pathetic. So try a little bounce ball strat here. It's the quickest way to get through this room.
Nice.
I don't think I bounced. Yeah, but
Oh.
that's okay. If you get the bounce, it's really tricky because you got to time the. You can't mock ball. You have to bounce ball into that room, so it's a little tricky to do. And then one more E-tank for this area. So this is a kind of a sigh of relief because this is pretty much the most dangerous part of the run is over now. From this point, you pretty well steamroll your way through the run because you get so much health and so many items. It's not really, the chance of dying is pretty slim.
Nice missile count.
Of course, we got to come back through here, but it's not as dangerous on the way back, obviously. So those platforms do full E-tank of damage if they hit you, which is why that's called the death room. Many runs have gone to die there, including my own.
What is the arc?
All right, onto the attic.
Are there drinks anywhere? Can we get the Gatorade or something? Okay. Not really, but well, I'll take it over nothing.
All right, so got some work robots in this room to get through. They're kind of annoying, but you can clip through them if you just take damage and jump, which is kind of nice. Then you don't have to wait for them to walk out of the way. The quickest way to get them moving is to shoot them with super or regular missiles. And you just clip through this last one here. Much better attic on the way back. So that's a tricky jump. You have to time the jump. Sorry, right at the peak of that little hill there, and if you miss it, fall all the way back down, and you got a shine spark up there as a backup strat, so it wastes a bit of time, but not a huge deal. All right, so now we're on our way to gravity suit, which will allow us to do Meridia. Okay. So we're at bowling. We can take a little break. If you guys have any donations or anything you want to read, then this is a good time. You guys awake? Oh. So there's actually one more reserve tank we're going to grab before we hit gravity. It's just over to my right here. And one more missile pack. Okay, so now we can effectively leave wreck ship, which is kind of nice because I hate it. It's my least favorite part of this run. And so we're going to pick up Gravity Suit. Like I said, it's going to let us do Meridia. It also reduces damage by, I'm not even sure how much more, but it's like 25% more or something like that. But first, we're going to grab another hidden missile pack just over in the corner here. Like I said, there's items hidden everywhere in this game. I'm not even sure playing casually how you'd ever find everything. So when I first had this game, I bought a strategy guide that showed me where everything was. And even then, I was still forgetting things. So this part of the run, you can technically go to Gauntlet, which is an area in Criteria here, first, but you need a certain amount of health to do it, so I'm going to save it for later. I'm going to do late Gauntlet. It's actually much easier doing it later on, just because you've got Plasma Beam and you've got Screw Attack, so it actually makes it a lot simpler to do. Because typically coming out of Wreck Ship, your health is pretty tight, so you have to do a pretty long spark. Shine Spark. And if you don't have enough health, then you can end up getting stuck in Gauntlet and potentially dying, so you don't want that to happen. Okay, so backtracking a bit here, we're going back to Green Brinstar. We're going to clean up some items down here that we ran past the first time through here. And then after that, we'll head to Meridia. Hopefully things will go well. Oops. That was supposed to be a moonfall, but it wasn't. Moon fail. So was that. So all you animal lovers, we're going to be passing by the Edacoons pretty soon. Just in the next room over here. I think the idea is they were supposed to teach you how to wall jump, but we're way past that point. So, hey guys, see you later. So you have to mock all of that little area there if you want to get. You don't want to fall all the way back down that shaft, which wastes obviously a lot of time. So. Nice.
Nice.
You have to time those missile shots pretty tightly.
Wow.
So I laid that power bomb there because it does two things. It opens the door on the right side, and it also blows away the blocks over here, which we need to get through to get to this area here. There's actually a different strat for this area. It's a little bit quicker. You can actually quick drop through that block and get back up the other way, and it saves a bit of time doing it that way. But I'm bad at this game, so I'm not going to try that. So that was a little trick. You can shoot that super missile block if you position yourself just correctly in that room. It's not. I don't think it's a screen wrap technically, but it's a little bit of a trick with scrolling the screen to the right distance so you can shoot that super block. Because this is basically where a spore spawn allegedly would have been, and that's you normally come through the opposite direction. But there's a lot of items in this area. It's crazy. So we're just going to clean this up as quickly as we can and then move on. So you notice, I haven't really explained damage boosting. So if you're holding the jump button and you get hit by an enemy and you push the opposite direction within, I think it's a 4-frame window, then it'll force you back in the opposite direction really quickly like that. So we abuse that quite a bit in this game because it's obviously faster than just running around.
Oh, is that where it's more like FP?
All right, so some of the strats I use in this game are actually kind of dated. Like this strat is pretty old. I like to call them dad strats because I'm a dad and I just don't have the time to learn all that new fancy tech that you guys use. So we're going to preemptively lay a power bomb here, and that's going to open the door above, which saves a bit of time in the long run. Because we'll be coming back up this way toward the end of the run after Meridia, after Lower North here. Oops. Oops. Alrighty, so coming up on Meridia here, or as I sometimes like to call it, Snorridia, because it's the longest segment in the run. And there's a lot of items spread over that area. I think Meridia is the largest area in the game. And everything's spread out everywhere, so it's a long segment. Plus the music is like, puts you to sleep, so. Try to make it interesting by nailing some of these strats, but no promises. This spark, or this short charge we've got to do here is really tight. Whoops. Okay, well that would have been nice.
There we go.
Little derp moment there. I've spent literally like a full minute trying to get that charge. Sometimes it's just, if you get the timing wrong, it throws you off. It was just a regular 3-tap charge for that, so it's a little tight. The old Mama Turtle room, so we're gonna grab an E-tank and another hidden missile tank in here. And truth be told, if that turtle actually wakes up and hits you, it does a ton of damage, which isn't really an issue in this category. But if you're doing like a randomizer or something, people don't realize that, and it's sometimes like a one-shot kill. Alrighty, so we're gonna grab another super missile pack, just hidden in this wall here. these crab supers, because there's crabs in there, right? A lot of creative names in this game. I used to kind of dislike the segment of the run, but I've actually grown to like it quite a bit more because a lot of interesting tech you got to use here to go fast. So.
I'm not telling you. Oh. Okay.
Well, if you time that properly, you can deboost off that little fly dude there, which saves quite a bit of time. Well, not quite a bit of time, but some of these areas are kind of awkward to move through. So got this little spot here.
Yeah, true. $37. I put mine in airplane because it uses almost no
Okay,
battery
so now we're
to
going to
do
head to
that.
the
But if I let it idle on
mini
data,
boss in this
it'll,
area.
like,
Bots
die. Like mine's at 33%. I may or may not be screwed going home.
Pretty basic fight. Bottoon's got a really strange hitbox though, so it's easy to waste ammo.
Percentage buddies. Oh no.
I'm missing all these moonfalls.
Yeah, that's good.
So I don't know if you can see my hands on stream or not,
Yeah,
but
I'm gonna turn mine off airplane.
in Super Metroid, you kind of need to train yourself to learn a few different grips of the controller, just to facilitate some strategies, because it's
I have such bad short-term
a lot of different item selection strats.
I'm gonna turn mine off airplane at the start of my run to like tell my Discord at the starting. So I can do that at the start of your run.
Okay, we go. That wasn't too bad. So ideally, you want to do a one round on that, obviously, but you have to shoot him in the head, and it's a really small hitbox, and it's really strange. He tends to absorb ammo
What channel should I do it in?
for no reason at all. Yeah, I hit the door. Crap. Okay. So no full halfie today, unfortunately, but if you time it properly, you get 4 or 5 really tight wall jumps and then a down grab at the top of the previous room. You can actually get a shine spark that travels all the way across this room, and you don't have to jump around like this, like I'm doing, which is obviously really slow. So. Right, so now we're up to the next major boss in the game, Dragon. And Dragon's the only boss in the game that actually takes damage to shine sparks. So we're going to be abusing that quite readily. So you want to kill those turrets, obviously, because they're going to cause you grief if you leave them active. See how this fight goes. Dragon's kind of random in how her patterns. Oh, okay, so.
That's close.
I still want to get the blue suit. Oh wow, I didn't even get it because I got gooped. Oh well. So if you kill her with a shine spark, you get what's called a blue suit. So it's actually basically a stored shine spark. So you can press down anytime, and you'll get a shine spark. So we typically use that to get out of get across the what's it called, the cathedral. So if you can do that, you can obviously spark all the way across, and it saves quite a bit of time. But we'll try for the backup strat, which is Wample jump, and it's just a tight little space jump to get over over this top pillar here. So that didn't happen. So we'll just do this and that.
I don't know if it's set up or anything.
These little Metroid-looking guys are actually called Mocktroids. They're wannabe Metroids, I guess you could say. I'm gonna take that, supered him. So I killed that little pancake dude because he tends to be pretty trolly when you fall in the sand here. He can damage you and slow things down, so I like to kill him like that. So now we're going to do quite a bit of item collection for this segment here, so try to keep you guys entertained with explaining things, but it is a little bit of a dragged on part of the run. So right now we're going to head down to sand pit number 1 and then grab best item in the game, which is Spring Ball. If you see me crouching here, it actually speeds the fall up a little bit in the sand. Not that much, but just enough to make a small difference. So ideally, like when you fall in the sand there, you can actually, if you time it right, if you do the turnaround animation just at the right time you hit the sand, you can actually quick fall into the sand, which saves you from having to sit there like a momo, just falling in the sand until you hit the bottom. Okay, so here we are at Shack Tool. As I call them, Snack Tool, because it's a great time to grab a snack if you feel a little famished. So you literally have to wait for him to dig through this. So feel free to go grab yourselves a Red Bull or something. Doesn't take that long, actually. But
Yo, he's trying to get your attention.
oh, thank you. Getting a little hoarse here. All right, so on to Spring Ball. So normally you wouldn't be able to get out of this area if you didn't have it, but speedrunners have tricks to do that. So this item basically lets you jump in ball form, so it's kind of nifty. It gives you opportunities to do some interesting strats with it. Don't really use it too much in this run, unfortunately. But.
If you want to commentate, don't mind sitting next to it. You can use the other headset.
Oh, I don't want to sit next to him. He smells. I'm kidding. No, I don't know. Oh god, I hope the stream didn't pick that up.
I'm just so glad you guys made the trip. Like,
I feel like it's kind of too late right now. But.
Okay, so we're going to head up to Plasma Beam. It's one of the more overpowered items in the game, so it's certainly a powerful beam that you can use to clip through enemies, kill multiple enemies at the same time, so it's handy for speeding things up in this category for sure.
Expert now. I have to do expert now. Nice.
I used to hate that room so much. It was really hard to get up that room sometimes. With all the pancakes floating around there, different enemies.
by the way, in the back, I think we have a donation.
Ooh.
Also, Pidge is requesting a $117.49 donation. If someone can make that happen for pitch.
It's very specific.
I don't know why. There's probably no ulterior motive or any specific number behind that request.
All right, so we're going to backtrack a bit, go back to the sandpit area, because we got to go in sandpit number 2. Oops. Supposed to kill that guy.
Backtracking sounds like speedrunning with extra steps.
Kill that guy. Okay, sandpit number 2, I believe, has another reserve tank and a missile tank, if I'm not mistaken. But first we're going to grab another few missile packs in this area. There's a couple items just above here. So there's a strat you can do called Blue Bomber, which gets you up here a little quicker. It involves doing a mock ball inside that room and then jumping and breaking through the speed blocks. The problem with that is there's a little bit of potential for soft lock because you can get trapped in between the two different levels there. All right, so up to sandpit number 2. And that is the 3rd or 4th reserve tank? No, 3 or 4, I think. There's one more reserve tank in north area. Oh, please. Thank you. And that pretty much does it for Meridia, so we can thankfully get out of this place. Getting caught in the sand is extra bad because there's sand falling from the ceiling and you get caught in the sand and it's just a pain to get out of, so don't fall in the sand, kids. So we're going to pay Crate Area another visit here. So we got to pick up one item that we missed earlier. Another little hidden gem. Luckily, it doesn't take too long because we're powered up so much here. Just kind of blaze through this section quickly. So now right over here is a hidden missile tank. And now we can head on to lower north area. But first, we're going to grab Ice Beam. So lower north area is typically a pretty dangerous area if you run any percent. Everything down there does about 50 damage, 40 or 50 damage. So it's not great when you don't have a lot of health, but since we have like 1,000 E-tanks, we're pretty safe. Pretty much just steamroll our way through it. Yeah, let's go to deboost. So this will be the last beam upgrade. Ice Wave Plasma is the most powerful beam combination. I mean, aside from the Hyper Beam, but that doesn't really count. So this will let us kill Ridley in 20 shots, which is nice.
Do you have time for a donation?
Certainly.
We have $40 from G-Var saying, not going to be that easy. Save the animals. Oh, yeah, Elm, here's expert mode.
What?
Blame G-Virus.
I didn't do that. Whoever used my name, that's not me.
This is Alias. I'm not used to sitting this close to a TV, so it's really trippy watching things go by that quickly.
I think Elma hates me now.
Chronic boost there. Help us get across this section pretty quickly. Alrighty, on to Lower Norfair. There aren't a ton of items in this area, so we're not going to spend a whole lot of time here, but we do need to kill Ridley, obviously. Oops. Okay. Marathon strats. So you gotta wait for this guy to do whatever he does to empty the lava here. It's not really no way to get around this cutscene. And then we're gonna head off to Golden Chorizo, who is another mini boss that you don't see too often. However, he is holding an item that we need, actually a couple items. Just gonna play it a little safe there. So if you fall through those blocks, you gotta go all the way back around to get this missile tank, which really sucks.
Yeah, that's the one you don't want to miss.
Yeah. So the Golden Chorizo fight's pretty basic. I mean, relatively speaking, it's you just got to stand in a certain spot. You abuse Ice Wave Plasma, as you'll see here. You just aim up and then keep charging shots, or don't charge them. Yeah, charge them. And the beam actually hits twice sometimes, which is double damage. And that's basically it. Another overpowered item, Screw Attack. So basically when you're in spin jump, you're pretty well invincible. And you kill pretty much everything in your path, so that's what makes this area so easy. Lock the door. It's like the worst.
That was
Good
unfortunate.
crouch lock in a block. Wow. Thanks, game. Worst room in the game is kind of a joke in this category. You don't really have to worry about anything.
Yeah, that room's so much easier with Screw Attack.
Oh yeah,
Oh
absolutely.
my god.
So this is another potential spot you could fall down, which is bad. Beside Mickey Mouse missiles here, there's crumble blocks that you may or may not be aware of, and I've fallen down there a few times and ended runs very abruptly. Another interesting thing about plasma beam is if you shoot an enemy at a certain time, you can allow you to clip through them. You can basically just run right through them and not take any damage. Oh, you got me. So typically we call these the power bombs a shame because these are the power bombs you get if you don't have enough to continue. But they're just regular old power bombs in this category. So those platforms, if you press down at the right time, You can actually clip through them. There we go. The only reason I kill the pirate that way is because with Moonwalk enabled, it can kind of mess with your rhythm in killing those, because you got to do a lot of charge shots to kill them. So oftentimes what happens with Moonwalk is you end up walking backwards unintentionally and messing things up. So, all right, on to Ridley. Not too much of a challenge. 20 shots and he's dead. So let's see how this goes. I lost count already. That's probably 20-ish, I don't know. Yeah, that's 20. You can tell he kind of changes his behavior when he's dead. Moves a little slower. All right, so he's kind enough to leave us an E-tank for our troubles. So let's grab that. And there's the mysterious broken Metroid case, meaning the Metroid is not where we left it. But something tells me we'll see it later. So now we're done with Ridley. Just a little bit of item cleanup here in this area. Yeah, leaving Norfair in this category is pretty easy. Obviously there's not much risk in it, but it's kind of notorious in other categories for ending runs just because of the, well, specifically these Kai Hunters here. Do 50 damage apiece.
Well, that's the cool thing about 100% pretty much any game is that when you get to the end game, it's so much easier to go through the end content and doing all the last boss fights and whatnot.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I might get the boost, I'm not sure. Might not be close enough. Oh yeah, we got her. Oh, don't go through the door. That's happened before. Oop. All right, so a couple more items to grab over here. If you time it right, you can do a speedball and actually grab that missile tank and break those blocks above, which is pretty swaggy, but it's not easy to do. All right, so a little bit of backtracking here. There's one more missile tank in this area to grab, and then we can say goodbye to Lower Norfair. Yeah, this area in particular is pretty dangerous in a lot of other categories because the three Kai Hunters here on the right are positioned really strangely in these tight little areas, and dodging them is not easy. I just kind of run through them like a... All right, so a couple more things to grab here. called Leap of Faith. Aptly named because if you miss that waiver and miss the deboost, then you fall all the way down in the bottom of Bubble Mountain there, and it's a bit of a time loss. Oops. So that should be the last reserve tank we grab in this run. Of course, another hidden missile tank. It's not really a great way to get through that room. There's a lot of lag in it, and it's just not an easy room to navigate. I don't think I broke those power bomb blocks, but I guess we'll find out when I get back over there. Probably laid it too high. Yeah, didn't break. Okay, so now we can leave Norfair, and we're going to do a bit of cleanup in Brinstar and Materia. And then the last section is doing Gauntlet, the part we skipped earlier after Wreck Ship. We're going to grab the most useless item in the game, X-Ray. I mean, unless you're a casual, it doesn't really have a lot of use. Or if you run majorly glitched categories. I was hoping to show off a spring ball strat there, but I blew it, so. C'est la vie. All right, so off to X-ray beam. This section here is pretty difficult if you don't space jump. There are actually runners that do any percent glitched have to get through this section with nothing but, well, pretty much nothing actually. I think one E-tank. Oops. Which is nuts because there's a lot of spikes in there and a lot of things that can kill you. All right, X-ray skills. Actually, that's not true. There is one use for this in this category, and it happens at the end of the game when you're doing stand-up glitch with Mother Brain. So if you end up getting stuck to the floor during stand-up, then X-ray actually releases you from the ground. It's kind of hard to explain in the context of what I'm doing now, but trust me, it's helpful when you have it. It's better to need and not have. No reverse slinky today. For shame. Whoop. Item selection is a big deal, like I was saying earlier. It's you got to remember what to select, where to select it. And that was a really tight mockball. Holy crap. All right. So back into Blue Brinstar. So all the items we skipped first time through here we're going to pick up. So there's actually quite a bit in this area that you missed the first time around. A little speedball through that room. So if you get blue suit, it pretty much destroys everything in your path. So it's kind of handy going through that room because there's not an easy way to navigate otherwise. So we get pretty close to Turian at this this point. So Turian is not really a threat in this category. It's, I mean, like I said, you're powered up so much, it's just really inconsequential. Yep. I actually forgot that missile tank one time. I ran right past it. It's pretty embarrassing. It happens. Oops. So we're going to abuse a neat little trick there. So you can actually store a shine spark, hop on the elevator, and it actually keeps the spark all the way till you get to the top. So we're going to spark across the pirate room here. Save some time. Oops. Ignore that. So I think that's the last super missile tank, if I'm not mistaken. Alrighty. This missile pack you typically grab early in the run. I mean, if you're playing casually, I guess, but it's almost always faster to grab stuff later in this category just because you have so many items to help you out. So you can mock ball through. You can get a quick mock ball through that section if you time it properly, but it's extremely tight. All right, so off to Gauntlet. This is the area that we skipped earlier, so we're gonna take care of that right now. Nice thing is, it's like I was saying earlier, it's way easier when you have all these items. Because typically, so earlier in the run you saw me do a screen wrap shot with after Crocomire, so we're doing something similar here to get the Gauntlet sparks, because we spark into the Gauntlet area, which saves a lot of time over just jumping through like normal. So this is probably the most impressive spark in the game. That'll be our last E-tank for the run, and then we got 2 more missile packs, and that should be it for items. So yeah, having space jump and screw attack is so much faster going through this area. Because typically you have to power bomb your way through there, which takes a lot of time. I'm going to play this a little safe. If you fall through here on the one side and don't crumble the blocks on the other side, you have to go all the way back around. Another run killer. All right, off to Turian we go. End of the game. And I'm going to grab a drink of water because I'm parched. It's kind of funny how they do this in the game. They just kind of make you wait here, like torture. Because if you got this is typically where you start to get nervous if you've got a good pace going. That's your golden 4 split. So kind of a little bit of extra torture the game gives you, getting your nerves all riled up. So in this area, the only thing you really have to do is kill all the Metroids just to progress through it. It's not difficult by any means. After that, we're going to do something, well, we're going to attempt something called the Metroid skip, which will skip the cutscene for the big Metroid. Forgot to turn off a couple items here. Give me one sec. So I'm turning off these 2 items. I should have done it at the top of the elevator there, but for the setup for the stand-up glitch, and because Zeb skip, you can't clip through it if you have screw attack enabled. Turian's one of those areas where it helps to have like 20 fingers because you need a lot of quick items, select and deselect. And so you'll see we change grips quite a bit. All right.
While we wait for the baby skip, we have a donation from DD Gamings. He gave $5.01 with no comment, but I will take this opportunity to say that Kill the Animals is now winning by 1 cent.
Ooh. That's like the worst thing that can happen. Oh well, at least we're facing right. That's all that matters. Yeah, well. I'd like to blame a marathon setting, but that was mostly my fault. I just didn't time the last jump well. So we can do a little refill here quickly. Alternatively, you can do what's called a what is it called? I can't remember. There's a technique you can use to refill all your health by using
Crystal
ammo.
Flash.
Crystal Flash, that's it, thank you. And whether it's faster or not than refilling in that room, I'm not too sure. I think it is a little bit faster, but... So I am going to do a safety save here, not because I'm afraid I'm going to die, but because we're doing something called stand-up glitch. And there's slight possibility of soft locking the game, so I really don't want to do that this late in the run. So just on the off chance that happens, do a little safety there. All right, Zeb skip good. All right, Mother Brain. So typically when you fight this fight, the second phase is unchanged from any other category, but the cutscene you can skip by doing something called stand-up glitch, and we're gonna go for that here. Basically lets you move around while the cutscene is happening, so you can actually deal extra damage to Mother Brain while that's happening. I'm intentionally taking damage, FYI. So I got damage down all the way to half here. So at this point, you just got to damage yourself down to less than 100 health, which triggers the cutscene. So normally I should be stuck to the floor right now, but So as soon as she turns gray, we can start shooting and cause, buffering up damage for the third phase here.
Unless we get sniped. Oh, damn, that's loud. So, unless we get sniped, it looks like we're going to save them by like $5.
We're going to save them?
Nah, it got sniped.
Get sniped? All right. I hope they turned him down, now that I know that it's loud.
All right. So what are we doing with the animals? Saving?
I'll let you know in about 5 seconds.
You
We'll get the final count on screen.
Killed the.
We're killing them?
We're going?
Yeah, last I saw, we will be killing them. So I believe it was $95 for save and $95.01 for kill.
Well done. All
Well
right.
done, everywhere.
Thank
We will
you.
be killing these animals.
I approve.
You know what? All right. Now it's better.
The frames are very grateful for your donations. All right, see if we can pull off this last moonfall. Nope.
I think this is the first NoReset event where we actually killed them.
By a penny, right?
By
a penny.
a single penny.
That's epic.
Hey, it doesn't matter how much, it just matters if it happens.
Man, it doesn't matter if you kill them by $1 or a penny, as long as you kill them, right?
Exactly. No love for the animals, even though we saw some of them tonight.
Bye,
Bye,
animals.
animals.
Sorry about that.
Enjoy the barbecue.
Petting Zoo is closed today, so.
Hey, time is on the ship, yeah.
And
Oh, yeah, time.
Time.
Thanks, guys. Do we want to wait for the item screen? I don't.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just to be sure. Yeah.
and we got Deer Force.
No,
Yeah,
that's true.
exactly. If you don't watch the credits, you're not allowed to host Super Metroid on any stream.
True.
Any, ever.
Yeah, it's illegal. Like,
It's illegal. I don't care.
Sacrilege.
No one, and I mean no one, is going to dishonor Gunpei Yokoi on my watch. No one.
Not on my watch. Oh, no ship is
Wait,
skipping. That's
Just
sad.
no.
Smells like chicken.
Do you think they taste like bacon?
Maybe.
Like alien bacon?
I'd be all right with that. I love bacon.
what's Canadian bacon? I just know bacon. Like, there's American bacon.
Yes.
And then there's like Canadian bacon, which is really just ham. But
All right, well, we got some time here, so I'll take some time to give shout-outs to the Super Metroid community. This is a great speed game. It's probably one of the best unintentionally awesome speedrunning games like ever created. Like, it's obviously there's elements where you know, speed is it's obviously built in because there's a built-in timer in the game.
but let me correct you on that. It is the best speed game.
Okay.
It is.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
It's science, really. It is.
It is science, yeah. So that being said, it's the skill ceiling in this game is insanely high. Just to give you an example, the world record for this category is 114.33, and I got a 126. Yeah, that's what I expected. So that being said, I mean, the amount of tech, the amount of stuff you got to learn, the strats, just all the stuff that goes into it. It's a huge, huge undertaking to speedrun this game, but it's very rewarding. It's a very fun game to play, and the community that runs it are always very helpful. So I mean, it's got one of the most comprehensive speedrunning wikis I've ever seen on the internet. I think it's wiki.supermetroid.run or something. Lots of examples, lots of explanations, tutorials, videos. I mean, it's endless the amount of stuff you can learn about this game, and you can literally spend your entire time playing it and still not be, world record holder. So, yeah, big shout outs to the community and all the people helping out and all the people learning new stuff, and just in general. Like if you decide to pick up this game, I would definitely start by watching some tutorials and just get a feel for it. The movement is very, very relatable. It's just a very clean game based on movement. A lot of very interesting tricks that you need to pull off. So I'm kind of rambling here, but just play it. That's what
And
I'm
also,
trying to say.
it is a master class in game design and storytelling.
Absolutely, yeah.
It holds up so well today.
Yes. Yeah, this game's been praised multiple times for its ambience, the music, and just the whole feel of it. For good reason. It's a fantastic game. It kind of sucks that I can't experience it again for the first time, but if you ever get a chance to do that, then I highly recommend it. Okay, here we go.
You ready?
Dear Force! Sorry, I jumped the gun a little bit there.
It's all good.
Look, we get be loud at least like once or twice. Give us that.
There you go.
Wait, Metroid's a girl.
What?
Metroid's a girl.
Lies have been lied to my whole
Metroid's a girl.
life.
I didn't know that.
Yep. And Metroid can't crawl.
Hey-o,
Hey.
I got her.
Hey.
All right. All right, guys. Thanks for inviting me. It was a lot of fun doing this. I mean, obviously it's not. My PB in this category is a 1:22.45, so obviously not as good a pace as I was hoping, but it is what it is. So thanks for having me, and hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, Elminster's next doing inverted randomizer. Is it?
Yeah, it's a Link to the Past inverted randomizer.
Correct.
With Elminster, who's gonna actually play it on expert mode because
Ooh.
I'm evil like that.
Give the guy a break, man. Holy.
Oh yeah.
All right.
And also to be clear, if you ever do a 100% Super Metroid run at NoReset, know that 97.9% is good enough.
Ah, perfect. All right.
That's all I'm gonna say.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks for being with us. It was a great run. My personal favorite. I mean, obviously, unbiased. I'm telling you, if you summon Super Metroid, you're getting in my event. I'm unashamed. It is my favorite game of all time.
Don't
With
look at
that
his
being
shirt.
said, we're going to set up Elminster for his run, so we'll be right back.